My dictator Annie. Who is the best dictator?
Do you want to go hiking or no today?
Yeah, later. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. They turn up the Amazon.
Mm.
From number 1 in 2022, number 4 this year. It was surpassed by Singapore Shopee, Chinese ultra discount retailer Shein, and Indian e-commerce giant Meesho. Amazon
Here
got
we
a
go.
large share of the U.S. American. But you know,
Oh man, you turned off my Bluetooth, Annie. What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
Good morning. Good morning.
Happy last day of the year.
Yeah, man. Last day of the year. If you're watching mainstream media right now, they talk about crypto like nonstop now.
Yep. I was reached out a while ago by this production company for crypto. They wanted to do like
Go ahead.
I was reached out like 3 or 4 months ago by this production company that wanted to do like a streamer.
Why do you not allow me to talk about crypto?
But that was fun.
Okay, we got Party Finance jumping in too.
Sweet. Let's go.
So why doesn't Amazon follow Tesla and start like Apple and Amazon? Why don't they start buying Bitcoin? You know, they know that their cash is devaluing 6 to 7%. I mean, I guess they just buy back their own shares. I guess that's the better way to spend your money, buy back your own shares.
Yeah, I bet you Apple holds Bitcoin. Tim Cook holds a lot of Bitcoin.
But I mean,
Obviously,
wouldn't they announce that? They would have to show it on their balance sheet. So the minute they do buy Bitcoin, they would, you know, we would know.
they would have to put it on their balance sheet. You're right about that.
Yeah.
What's up?
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you guys? Happy New Year's.
Yeah, Happy New Year's. So I'm paying off my loan, by the way, guys. I had a $15,000 loan. Oh, nice. We got Nerd Finance coming on. But I had a $15,000 loan, and so either I could wire the money and I had to wait 30 days, or I had to buy USDC. And so the network fee for this morning was only
Who's
20
this?
bucks. That's Nerd Finance.
No, the one call you Sina.
I don't know. Oh, what's up, Mo? I don't know. What's up, Mo? Here, I'm following him now.
Get out.
So anyways, the network fee for USDC was 20 bucks, and I had to pay another like $15. So it was like $35 to pay off my $15,000 loan. Say hi, Annie.
Hello.
Was that on Ethereum or was that?
So I just bought it. So yeah. I ERC20 is on Ethereum's blockchain. That's why someone was like, Party Finance was like, oh, I paid like $600 in gas fees. But when I made the purchase this morning, I was only charged $20 in gas fees.
Nice, dude.
So I don't know if I got lucky or whatever, but that's still kind of like high. I mean, right? I mean, if it was another blockchain, I could probably get it for pennies.
Yep, for sure. So I got a question for all of you. I guess we can start with Cena, but what do you guys think about like upcoming trends of 2022? What do you think will be the big narratives in 2022?
So the rate hike won't happen. So you know how they're projecting 3 rate hikes, and I believe the first rate hike is in March, and that's supposed to like crash the market. So I think we're gonna get into like another bull market because they're not gonna raise rates. Because I think they're just gonna see that like, oh, if we raise rates, it's gonna create more problems. And the US wants to get out of their debt. What's the easiest way to get out of your debt? Inflation. Who
Right.
benefits? All the rich people that give money to politicians. Who's getting screwed? Poor people. It's like the best plan in the world. It's like the silence tax on poor people, inflation.
Right.
So that's my
Yeah,
prediction.
I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen, but just to like draw off on that, there's inflation, so their move is either to raise rates, which in my opinion they can't afford, because if they raise rates, the government will have to pay such a large amount of interest on their debt, right? I think right now they spend about $500 billion in interest. roughly around there, somewhere between 250 to 500. And if rates were to normalize, like right now, rates are maybe
Well, you can do 4
1.5%.
people on that.
If it just goes to 3%, they're spending $1 trillion just in interest alone. So I don't think they can afford a rate hike. Well, I mean, like, you know, a significant rate hike. So if they're talking about 3 rate hikes, let's say at 25 bips a piece, that's 75 bips, right? So that's close to 1%. I don't think they'll do that.
And guess what happens? Tech stocks, like all the ARK, you know, like right now, ARK is in the dumpster, and I think it should stay in the dumpster because there's like, you know, fears. But once they realize, like, oh my God, they're not going to raise rates, I think ARK will like U-turn and then start to go up. All the crazy companies with no, you know, with no profits can go back into speculation mode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree to that. Of inflation for sure.
And any other predictions then? So that's like my first prediction is that like they're not going to raise rates. I think inflation is going to continue, and that's going to be good for crypto and stocks. So basically, stop buying crap coins, start buying the mega caps. I think the mega cap trend will continue too. Like I think you'll see basically Google, Apple, Amazon. I see them all being $5 trillion companies. You know?
Right.
In 2022?
No.
No.
Like, you know, with
$100
inflation.
for each of them.
No, they got to print a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, but it's interesting that you mentioned that. Like, I feel like people are talking that the markets are overvalued because of the amount of cash that they're printing out, right? And then people are just using the excess cash to push up prices. So a lot of people that aren't from the U.S. are saying that the only reason why, you know, the U.S. has so much money is because everything's denominated in U.S. and it's being pushed up by the money printing. So, which, you know, it's a fair argument.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. By the way, I got to be the hype man to get more people in here. If you guys don't mind, smash the like button. Let's get more likes and hopefully get like a larger audience here to also, you know, if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys can contribute. So any other predictions for 2022?
I have
here?
one.
Okay.
I just have a prediction regarding DAOs. I think DAOs will be probably grow larger than a lot of investment funds and be
in 1 year.
Well, yes, I think DAOs will over the next year. A lot of DAOs will be absolutely gigantic. I think DAOs are over the next 2 or 3 years. DAOs are going to take over the world. They really are.
Okay, so elaborate, because once again, like, you know, no one thought Bitcoin was going to obviously go the way it's going to go. So how are DAOs going to be, because it's basically competition to the stock market, right? Kind of. It's like, why invest in a stock when you can invest in a DAO and have, I guess, a little more like voting rights?
Well, DAOs are just a different way to coordinate and collaborate online. It's very strange. They have like multi-sig wallets where they can allocate funds and build projects, and it's going to be strange. I mean, like for example, Constitution DAO raised about $45 million in 1 week to buy the Constitution, and then even then, afterwards, projects can target digital wallets to airdrop tokens or to do certain things based off the demographic of that digital wallet. So basically, if, for example, if you started a project and wanted to say like, oh, the people that donated to Constitution DAO are the type of people I like and want to be a part of my project, you could airdrop them something and target that demographic. And I think DAOs the DAOs you participate in will be a representation of your character. And I think that's going to be very interesting to see as well.
And so Nerd Finance, really quick, do you know what a DAO is? Or maybe we should like break it down a little more, because once again, I don't think Nerd Finance is as crypto heavy. So you want to kind of break down what a DAO is, like the acronym?
It stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. It's basically just a contract, smart contract on the blockchain where people can collaborate through, I guess.
Yeah, I actually heard a little bit about the people who are buying the Constitution. If I'm not mistaken, they failed to do it, and
Correct.
some hedge fund guy, the guy who runs Griffin, I forget what's
I
his
think it was
name.
Citadel.
Yeah, Citadel. But the guy who's running it, his name is
Ken Griffin, I think.
Ken Griffin. Yeah, okay, that's right. That's right. I knew it was Griffin something. He has a good bio, by the way. I've seen some of his interviews.
Yeah.
Apparently, his son told him to buy it, and he bought it.
Yeah, I read about that too.
How do they raise the money? Did they set up like a crypto wallet and then they just like put a bunch of Ethereum? Like what crypto do they use to like liquidate into cash?
Pretty sure it was Ethereum.
Yeah, it was Ethereum. Yeah.
Wait, did they have to give the money back though? Right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I only paid $20 this morning in Ethereum gas. I keep hearing people complain about gas fees, but it's like, what? I only paid 20, and $20 is still too high. Like I am kind of upset about paying
Depends what you're
$20,
doing.
but
Like I was on a DeFi platform buying like a bunch of DeFi coins, so like you get taxed a little harder on some of these platforms.
Yeah. It's all
and
about.
so did they sell
complexity.
the Ethereum, or did they just raise Ethereum and then when they were unable to buy it, they just gave the Ethereum back? Like what's the process of the DAO? They raise like, let's just say the 45 million in Ethereum. Do they then like liquidate it into cash on Coinbase? Like how does this all work out?
Well, the auction house accepts Ethereum.
Makes sense. That's okay. Yeah.
I think Christie Auctions. I think it was through Christie Auctions, and they accept Ethereum.
Nice.
Also, when you like win like auctions like these type of like caliber, you have like a month to pay. Like you win, and then you can like set up payment.
Interesting. So have you been to these types of auctions, Party Finance? I feel like he's done all the coolest stuff.
For, like,
have you been
art
to like
galleries,
multi?
like
Dude, I
yeah.
follow his Snapchat and he does do the coolest stuff. Like I can confirm that crap.
Yeah. Well, everyone here can follow Party Finance on Instagram if you guys want to see. He's kind of like our James Bond of the group.
Damn. I gotta follow Party Finance on Instagram. I haven't.
Yeah, and so Party Finance, you want to, because like I forgot, you guys probably don't know each other that well, but like tell him about your trades. Like he's been basically liquidating your crypto to buy real estate, right?
Yeah, I did an interview with him, but yeah, in the last 6 months, I've liquidated like a bunch of Ethereum and bought 2 townhouses.
What do you say about that, Dingle Crypto? I think Nerd Finance would say great, right? Nerd Finance agrees. Get some hard assets, not magical internet money.
I think real estate's great. It's just a lot of work.
A lot of work.
By the way, update guys, Lemonade has still not paid out. They did do the asbestos removal, but they're still like just going really slow and just being a scammy insurance company. And then like people have been posting on my TikToks that like when the hurricanes hit recently, like some insurance companies will make you wait like 16 months before they get back to you.
Jeez.
So I guess like that's a business model in the US. Like it's like a loophole, but it makes sense. Like, you know, they probably pass laws that they can do this stuff and they can get away with it.
Investigating.
Exactly.
So that's where the stock crashed.
And he's like, is that why Lemonade stock crashed? Everyone figured out it's a pyramid scheme. They just take your money and run ads. But yeah, I think real estate's a lot more work, and then also just property tax. Like you don't pay any property tax on your Bitcoin. And if you live in a place like Texas where they reassess it every year, I have a friend who bought a house in Texas and his tax was $6,000 a year. And because the values went up, he's now having to pay $12,000 in like 3 years. In like Austin, Texas. Huh?
Property taxes there are 1.5%, something like that, right? Like it's over.
But they get reassessed every year. In California, you're locked in and it can only go up 1% a year. In Texas, they reassess it like whatever. I mean, when Austin, like what is that? They doubled his property tax in like 3 years because Austin is like that great of a place to invest in.
You can fight it, and like if let's say like you have a cracked driveway or like a bunch of like stuff you need repairs, you can like contest it and like get it knocked down a little bit.
When we talk about crypto, and the first thing crypto is a bunch of cult. And
Annie says she went to Hawaii and her friends think crypto's a cult.
And
like everyone's a cult and they're different cryptos.
And then like if like in the future like the machine break the code and the Bitcoin is nothing.
Oh, they okay. So she's thinking that somehow they can break Bitcoin's code and then take over the blockchain. But like Annie, if that was going to happen, it would have happened in the last 12 years.
Yeah, in the future.
Okay, but in the future they can update the blockchain, right? And they can fight the hack, right? Like if they figure out, okay, you can like obviously do this to like a blockchain, they can update the software. It's software.
Isn't that like
Yeah, but how
what they're
about
saying?
if they
It's more
break the
secure
code
because there's
and
so
Bitcoin is
many.
nothing?
They're in so many different places because it's decentralized. There's no like usually when stuff is centralized, you only need to attack that place and then everything's screwed. But because it's decentralized, it's more secure. Like that's the argument. So why?
But see, incentives, it's the rewards. No other like security place pays out because like how much Bitcoin is mined every day? Like think about how much money is paid out to keep the blockchain secured, and it's worth so much money. Isn't it like 15 Bitcoins are mined every day or something? I don't even know what the amount is, but it's a lot of money to make sure it stays secure. There's a lot of financial incentive for no one to screw with it. You know what I mean? If you're in Bitcoin, there's a lot of like incentive for you not to let it get hacked, not, you know what I mean?
How did you know?
What any opinions? Are you guys like?
How did you know?
I mean, I say like there's like 3 Chinese homies that can like if they really wanted to they could because they have like the 3 biggest Chinese the mining group they have like more than 51% control. They all pool together. So
Yeah,
that's all you
CZ.
need.
Yeah, CZ
Yeah,
try to roll back the blockchain a couple of years ago.
yeah.
So
So
Binance
he
got hacked. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
and he tried to roll back the Bitcoin blockchain. He tried to like talk. There's an interview of him saying like, well, if we could roll back the Bitcoin blockchain and do it and go before the hack and prevent it happening. So he tried to make that happen. And that's why I'm not a fan of CZ.
yeah.
But that's just me.
You can
Yeah.
roll back Bitcoin. It's literally 3 people. That's
Yeah.
it. And
Hold
Bitcoin.
on. So Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, they're buying a ton of Bitcoin. So I think it's more decentralized than that. Is it really 3 whales that have all the Bitcoin?
The 3 biggest Chinese miners can control. If they wanted to, they can control the whole network. They have
But
the power.
they are
So they have more than
decentralized.
51%. So Satoshi obviously retired his, right?
Well, he's not mining. He just has a wallet with 1 million coins.
But you're saying the 3 miners in China have more than 51% of the bit. They would have to have like $500 million of Bitcoin. They would have to have half the network, or 500
have
billion.
Not of the token, of the hash rate.
Have the hash rate, like the mining, like computing power.
Okay. Okay, so explain this to Nerd Finance and I'm completely clueless about this. This is actually
Well, no,
really
if you
interesting.
said that they mine 15 bitcoins a day, then what they're saying is they mine 7.5 bitcoins a day, right? That's basically just because they have 50%.
But they
Well,
don't
we're
get all
talking
of it. They
about-
don't get 100% of all the rewards. There's other miners. They don't get 100% of.
Yeah, but they're saying that if they have 50% of the computing power, so that means they probably get 50% of the rewards, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Like if they get, because like it's like 3 really big Bitcoin mining pools. Like that's because if I want to mine, I join their pool or like a miniature pool, like a little smaller pool. Like I would join their one of the big pools to get a payout because they have a likelihood of getting the actual block reward, and then everyone, all the miners within the pool, they get a percent of all the mining.
So what's the Bitcoin replacement? Because this is my discussion to everyone. I see a lot of Ethereum wannabes and Ethereum competitors. This is like, and we got to somehow like get Nerd Finance in this too. I feel like this is all crypto, so Nerd Finance is gonna have to become a crypto guy. But what's the closest competition to Bitcoin? I see no competition to Bitcoin, right? Who's trying to be Bitcoin number 2?
Wouldn't you say it's Ethereum?
No, Ethereum's different because it's not decentralized. That little kid, the 19, well, he's now older. The founder of Ethereum has the power to change the blockchain and do whatever he wants.
No, I don't think that's right.
Okay, what's right?
About Vitalik having the power to change Ethereum's blockchain. Ethereum is pretty much as decentralized as Bitcoin, maybe a little less. I don't know exactly.
What about the hack? Wasn't there a hack where they rolled back the Ethereum blockchain in the past?
That was in what, 2016?
16.
Yeah. So it was a while ago, and that was when it came out. And that's kind of
I
one
see.
reason.
So he sold out, he divested, and now he doesn't. So the main people don't have all the Ethereum tokens anymore, right? They sold them to exchanges and got rid of most of the Ethereum.
Oh, he still has a lot of Ethereum for sure.
Yeah.
Is that how he got all his Shiba coins? Didn't he make a ton of money off of Shiba because they did like a hard fork, or how did that all work out? Where like
Shiba devs, like they wanted to burn coins, so they just sent it to Vitalik's wallet, and then Vitalik just sold it and like gave it to the government of India for COVID relief.
Yeah.
that's
that
smart
started,
though.
Yeah, that started the summer crash. That was like
Yeah.
the day that started the summer crash, was when he donated all the Shiba to India.
So let's talk about microchips, right? Because right now, isn't the AMD the king of mining, right? When you want to get the microprocessors, like it. So is AMD or Intel, like, is any of these other chip makers ever going to compete with AMD, or is AMD just gonna? I mean, sorry, Nvidia. Like, is AMD ever gonna compete? Go ahead.
I mean, you can. Like for like like Bitcoin mining, you like mine with ASIC miners, not GPUs. It's like all the other coins. Like
What are the
Ethereum,
ASIC miners chips made of, though? Who makes the ASIC miner chips? If you guys have a
China.
computer to look it up.
China.
Oh, so is it a Chinese manufacturer or what? Like
It's
Taiwan
all
Semiconductor?
China sells them. Like it's crazy.
No. But for the chips, it's Taiwan. I don't think China has
Yeah,
the same
okay,
technology, right?
No, they make the chips in China.
I think it's all made in Taiwan, and then Taiwan sells it to China. That's why China wants Taiwan. I think Taiwan is the king of making all these chips. But once again, I guess we got to ask around. Or these are good questions. These are high level questions that maybe we need to like reconvene after we do some research or ask.
Well, the largest company is TSM in Taiwan.
That's why I think they make all the chips, and that's why I keep putting money in their stock. I know that Nvidia right now is like making all the money, and that's fine. Like it should, because I believe they're the most profitable, right? Can you look at their balance sheet, Nerd Finance, and kind of take a look?
They're number 7 in terms of market cap, but yeah, I could look.
Okay. See, this is a way where we can make Nerd Finance with his like financial stock background help us with our crypto investing. But with staking, is the chip power as much, like, is that gonna make it as important, right? Like, won't more people now want to just hold tokens? You don't have to buy expensive, like, less money will go to chip makers, or how does that work?
For like, yeah, if you stake versus mining, yeah, because then you just need the coins to hold on to.
That's what I'm saying. So that makes Ethereum super like valuable, right? This is why like Ethereum's value should go up even more, because in the future you don't have to buy chips, you don't have to buy electricity, right? Now you just have to hold Ethereum to make money on mining rewards, right?
Possibly. We don't know. Yeah,
what was your question on Nvidia?
So let's look at Nvidia's balance sheet and then compare it to TSM and AMD.
I mean, for their market cap, they really have a tiny balance sheet. It's just crazy. Usually,
so it's all speculation then. It's just all like speculation, right?
Yeah, they trade on their earnings. Most of these companies that have growing earnings, they don't trade on their balance sheet. The balance sheet is usually crap, right? Because they don't value it properly. There's a lot of intangible assets, goodwill that isn't properly assessed. Because they're growing. It's the earning power that you want to look at.
Okay, so what is like the earning compared to all of them? Like, doesn't Intel have the best like financials, but it has like no love because it doesn't make the.
I can check right now. One sec.
Texas Instrument. There's like a bunch of Texas Instrument microchips on here. So funny.
Oh, so then Texas Instrument makes miners.
Well, they just make some of the chips. This is all from China. Bitmain's all Chinese. Like, at least this company, Bitmain.
So, Nvidia generates 1.73 EPS, which is really small considering they have a $300 share price. They're trading at a ridiculous multiple, right?
What about AMD and Intel?
But in terms of, like, total, like, net income, right? So, just if we're looking at their operating profit, it's about 4.5 billion. Intel, I know, is a lot more. I think they're closer to 10 billion, but let me double check.
You know what's really funny, Nerd Finance? I wish we did this when I went to business school. Like, I'm so pissed off that like I didn't have stuff like this. Like, I wish we did more real world stuff like this.
We did.
I would
I
have
feel
gotten.
like we did one with Boeing because Boeing like tanked, and then we were looking at it when number one, when the planes went down, and when COVID happened, and we did like an assessment on it. But so
Okay, that's good. It's more current.
Mhm. The EPS for Intel is $4.94 per share at a price of $51. So you could already see it's trading at like a cheap multiple, 10x versus the other one closer to like
Yeah, why?
100x.
So why is that? I mean, can anyone? I don't know if anyone has a chip
Well,
background.
here, I can tell you. I can tell you why. But first, let's go over the profits. So the operating profit for Intel is 23 billion. So I was wrong. I said 10 billion, but it's 23 billion, or 24 billion, closer to 24. Now, 10 years ago, they were making 17 billion. So they didn't really grow. They didn't double, right? So they probably only grew by like 50%. So that is Intel. Now, if we're looking at Nvidia, let's look at earnings per share because it's unfair to compare just operating profit. So for earnings per share, they grew from 239 to 494. So with share buybacks, they actually did kind of double, right? So Intel is pretty good in that regard. But for Nvidia, they went from 24 cents EPS to $1.75. That is
the percentage. Okay.
7x growth, right? So the EPS grew a lot for Nvidia, which is why it probably has a high multiple. Now, with that said, is it going to continue to grow at a ridiculous rate? Maybe, but I don't think at like 100x multiple that it's a fair price to pay.
So maybe take some profits on your Nvidia and start to buy into other. Let's look at TSM because that's another one. Let's look at TSM.
Hey guys, I'm hopping off.
You gotta go.
Everyone, he's out.
So he's like, you guys are talking about stocks. I'm out. Thanks for coming on.
TSM went from 86 cents EPS in 2011 to 349. So it grew by like 4x, close to 4x. Trades at $120. So the PE is like 30x. So it's in between, right?
And let's look at AMD. And AMD, because AMD also has some pretty crazy growth.
I know AMD has crazy growth because that thing was like worthless 10 years ago. But EPS went from 66 cents in 2011 to $2.06. But actually, it was negative, like literally 4 years ago. So it was trading at, it had negative EPS of like 60 cents in 2016 versus $2 now. So it's been ramping up its profits, and it's trading at 44 times. I actually would not touch AMD.
Okay, so AMD and Nvidia are overvalued, and there's still a lot of value in Intel, correct?
Well, the issue with Intel is the reason why it's cheap is because there was news that their stuff was inferior to Nvidia, and it would take them a long time to catch up, like maybe a year and a half. But that was half a year ago, so maybe they'll catch up next year. But it is trading cheap. I didn't buy it. I don't own it. It's been suggested to me, but take that as you will. But it's one of those value. I would consider it a value stock, and it could be a value trap. I'm not willing to take the risk, but maybe others would.
I have 200 shares of Intel. To the moon, baby. Let's go.
But don't you have like a lot of different shares of many different things?
Yeah. I mean, I have over 100 AMD. I know I have over 100 shares of AMD. So
like if I ask you, how many stocks do you have on your portfolio? Like
I have like over 400, but what I've done is like on probably 300 of my 400 stocks, I only own one share.
Yeah.
And then out of my like next 90 stocks, or not 90, maybe my next 70 stocks, I own 10 shares. So they are very small positions. And then 30 stocks, I own more than like 10 shares.
Bro, simplify your life. I feel like you should get on the M1 Finance. If you own that many stocks, you're putting in a lot of different like trade orders. You could simplify your
Well,
life.
it's
Just
one
get one.
share. I mean, it's just because I like to look at what I bought it at, and when I sold out, I want to keep the history. And if I really wanted to, if I need to raise cash, I can go to all my one shares and sell 0.9, and then only hold 0.1 share of all the shares. But for now, it's all, one share.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But the
Yeah,
one other
but
issue I have is I have multiple platforms. So that's the one other issue. I don't have all my stocks on
you
one.
want to simplify. Yeah, that's.
But it's like most of it's on Interactive Brokers and Robinhood, and then like it's the rest. It's like just small amounts, And it's kind of
Yeah.
like the reason I have it there is so if I ever do get paranoid and I have to panic sell, I panic sell on my other accounts instead of my Interactive Broker.
Oh, I gotcha. So you have like one account that's for trading and one account that's stable.
Well, more it's like these are like stocks that I don't want to sell because I made so much money. The only reason I left them and I didn't transfer them over, they're basically my stocks that I made a lot of money. So if I sell it, there's a huge taxable gain.
Right.
And so the only reason I would sell it is like, oh shoot, I'm getting a margin call. Breaking place. They're basically the reason.
If you get a margin call, those would be the last thing you'd want to sell, right? Because you'd realize the gain and you'd get hit twice. You'd get taxed too. So
Yeah, but to also avoid sometimes, because maybe it's worth it for me to go ahead and pay the taxes and then avoid the margin call, because then I can buy more of the dip or whatever, not get liquidated at that position.
Right. Well, I guess when you think about selling stuff, you always need to focus on what you feel, what you don't believe in, right? What you think is going to go down.
When this market crashed, it really showed me what stocks I had conviction in. Like I didn't have a lot of conviction in DraftKings, so I sold out. But it's like my FANG, and I don't know, but it's like that's why I'm becoming more and more bullish on FANG because it's so easy to buy the dip when it's like FANG stocks. You know what I mean? But it's like hard to buy the dip on like, for example, Peloton. I bought some at like 45, like, oh, I'm gonna buy the dip, and then it just went down even more, and it's like, maybe I should just stick to like the S&P 500 and like the mega caps because it's like you can always buy the dip and like their dips are only like 2-3% and they just keep going up.
Yeah. I mean, for the FANG stocks, most of them are expensive except one of them.
Well, Facebook is cheap, right?
Yeah,
it's like only 24.
It's the only one who would like cheap with a lot of growth.
But I think Amazon is cheap. The stock hasn't moved. Like it's actually up 3% for the year.
I think
it's because they're reinvesting. Like, do you know that like when it comes to Amazon, they actually now do more shipping than UPS? Like the kind of like, so Walmart, like Target, they're all going to start using Amazon for shipping.
I saw a documentary on it on CNBC. They're definitely they have their own like fleet now. Like they're trying to make their own fleet. Like
and then
like
Walmart, when they sell you stuff on Walmart.com, they're buying Amazon Cloud. Like what people don't realize is how like powerful they are, and they just keep hiding their earnings, right? Like, yeah, they have the really high PE because they keep investing.
No. They're profitable already. Their margins are pretty good.
Like, but their PE is still really high, right? Isn't Amazon's PE still really high? They reinvest.
That's because everyone's valuing them high. That's not really a function of, like, are they profitable? They make $23 billion in operating profit. It is, like it is profitable. The margins though, they're tight, but then again, that's what you get if you're a retail company. Most retail companies generate like slim margins, like 6%.
So I think that 5% on Interactive Brokers, that was like the Voyager, or that's like the infinite money glitch thing, right?
But it wasn't 5%. You can get more.
Well, you still have to pay back, like, let's say, like 2% for Interactive Brokers.
No. So I'm paying 1%. Okay, if you have more than $100,000 on stocks, it's 1% interest.
Like normal, like every day.
No, but it's like a marginal. It's like a marginal rate. So like your first 100K, you'll pay the high rate, and then it goes down for every dollar above the break limit.
Are you sure? Look that up. I don't think it works like that for Interactive
It-
Brokers?
It's a blended rate.
Oh, so the first 100 grand, it's 2.5% or 1%?
Yeah, so you have like an effective, like it's like your taxes, right? The first 30K is tax at blah blah blah, and then it goes up on the next, I don't know, 20K, something like that. It's a blended
Can you
rate.
look it up really quick? Just look it up really quick so we can see it. So the first 100K is what? 2%? No, it's 1.5% for the first 100K, right? 1.5%. Just do margin rate. But anyways, let's just say hypothetically you're paying 1.5%, and then Voyager's paying you 9%. That's
Yeah,
that's
so
a
it
7.5.
says here, calculate blended rate charged on margin loan. It's blended.
So the first 100 grand is 1.5%, correct?
Something
And then
like
it's
that. It depends if you're
1%.
pro or light, right? If you're
Pro,
light,
pro.
2.58. If you're pro, 1.5.
Yeah, light is the bottom. So if you're doing the light, it's 2.5%, and then you're making 9% on Voyager. So it's 7. Wait, no, that's 6%. Yeah, 2.5 to 9.
Yeah, and then
No.
taxes. That one with taxes. That's 50%.
I'm putting my salary into VOO. Yeah, that's the safer bet. But hold on, let's do the math. So if you're doing it at the worst way, you're borrowing at 2.5%, and it's 9%. So that's 6.5% spread, right?
What's
6.5.
9%?
9% minus 6.5 is 2.5.
Wait, why are you talking about 9% though? I don't get it.
Because you get 9% on Voyager for staking. But what I do,
I see.
but see, what I'm doing is I bought their stupid tokens, so I get 10%. And because I borrow on Interactive Brokers, I'm getting under 1% because I have like a 300K margin loan. So on a 300K margin loan, I'm effectively paying closer to 1% than 1.5%.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
So I'm paying 1% and I'm getting 10%. So my spread is 9% instead of 6.5.
Yeah, but then you got tax, right? If you want to pay back that loan, you got to like sell your crypto tax. That's a taxable event. Transfer that to your brokerage. Pay that.
No. I'm borrowing against my stock to do that, not my crypto. So I don't have to sell anything as long as the market doesn't like crash.
Well, you still have to pay back like your like interest.
The Interactive Broker loan, yeah. And what I can do is I can sell stock to do that, or you just hold your stock.
Right.
If your value of like if my $1 million portfolio of stock goes up to 2 million and I still owe 300 grand, like I can pull more cash out. USDC is not taxed, no. So I do have to pay. What is that? So I'm paying, because I'm paying 1% in margin. I'm only paying income tax on the 9%. You're right. I'm paying 9% income, but it's peanuts. Buy Uber. Is Uber good? Let's look at the financials of Uber and Lyft. Party finance, nerd finance.
I know it's unprofitable. I don't even have to look.
I thought
they raised the prices. I thought they raised prices.
Doesn't matter. I know. Well, here I'll just look real quick. But I know it's not gonna matter. So they have an EPS of -$3.86. They lost $5 billion in profit.
Yeah, Uber. Uber. So do you think it'll ever be?
I was like, no way.
Do you think Uber or Lyft will ever? But they have Uber Eats, so none of that business is profitable. So is it just pure speculation?
Yep. They burn through money, like so much cash.
Well, so did Amazon. So I mean, I don't really want to judge them. Like Amazon was losing money for like 20 years, right?
So we got what
happens with
years to go with Uber?
Doesn't Uber become more profitable with robo taxis? Then they just have to pay Tesla instead of paying workers.
And insurance.
I don't even know how they're losing money. They must be paying like a lot of their tech people a lot of money.
They're not paying the drivers, right? The drivers make peanuts.
Drivers are
they're executives. Yeah, they're executives.
Dude, drivers are modern day slaves. That's plain and simple.
But I heard in New York they can make $50, like if you do it during $50 an hour during peak times.
Yeah.
Like if I was an Uber driver, I would exclusively work every night. From from like midnight to like 4 a.m. So you can just like overcharge people and get the service and work every holiday.
Honestly, I suck at driving, so I'd never do it. But I had a Benz, right? And then I was like looking at Uber Plus, and I was like, huh, I can make like $50 like in LA, like if I were to drive an hour, right? But then I was like, nah, I suck at driving. It's not gonna happen. Like I was
You
thinking,
make
like
your
on my
money
way
from
home, I meet someone,
tips.
right?
Yeah, so the company doesn't pay you. It's like the customers pay you from the tips.
But hold on,
That's how
isn't
you
there a
make
lot of people that don't tip, so you get screwed?
Dude,
I
I
would
have
say it'd
friends
be more than
that
50%.
Uber drivers, they get tips, but the Uber Eats, they do not. So that's the
They do. You can pick.
you can
if you
pay,
want.
but people usually don't. Like I've seen the stats on it. I should post the stats. It's quite interesting. And
So
then
people
Yeah,
don't
and then your
tip
car
Uber.
value
What?
depreciates. A lot of wear and tear on your vehicle.
Yeah.
And they don't pay for insurance too, so you got to get your own insurance. And if you're driving for Uber, that's like business insurance, dude. Like you're screwed. Like if you really want to do it, like you got to do it like full time, like every single day. They even make a good money. Or like
yeah. Low key, when my Benz was like really new, what I did was I drove home from work, right, and then my dad would drive my car for Uber Plus.
nice.
It was so funny.
For Uber Black or just
Huh?
plus. You should have done Uber Black.
Oh, that's you have to get like a professional license, I think.
Oh yeah, I think like a taxi stamp or something.
Yeah, something like that.
How much more do they charge? Like, people seriously just pay the premium, or like, I don't get it.
Yeah, a lot of business people just pay the premium because it's a business expense, and then
My dad
it's
told me
like
he drove a
double.
Rapper. So.
Nice.
Usually it's
Dude,
just
I
double.
might need to do this party finance. I mean, nerd finance. If you don't need your car, I'll come over at night and I'll do
My
Uber
car's
so I
old
can
now.
meet fame.
My car's old now.
What year was this? What year were you doing this?
So this was 2016. 2016. Something like that.
Nice.
It was a long time ago. But yeah, back then I remember I was paying like $1,000 a month on my car. So I was like,
Why did you take a car? Isn't that like the worst financial like decision to get like a car loan? A depreciating asset.
But I was young, dude.
Dude, I got 2 car loans and a trailer loan now. I bought an RV.
But he's young too, so.
You want to hear my flex? I bought a car in 2016 for $9,000, like that red car that I still drive, and I still drive it right now. And I got it with like 10,000 miles, so I have like 120,000 miles, and I'm pretty sure I can still sell it for $9,000 because of the stupid, used car shortage.
Yeah.
So literally,
car,
I think I've had a free car for what is that? Like 6 years.
Yeah, so my car is I bought it used, right? So I paid 36,000 for it, and it was a CPO. And then when I paid it off in 3 years, I borrowed against it again. They capped it at $15,000. They valued it at $15,000, and now I can borrow against it again at $15,000.
Nice.
And I'm almost done with my
50?
payments. So I've refinanced this car like it's gonna be the third time.
Wait, the value of your car went up?
I mean, it remained the same. It remained the same. I think when I tried to refinance it, it was valued at like 17,000, and now it's still valued at 15,000. So I could refinance it again for 15,000.
I would for sure refinance it within the next like 9 months before the chip shortages like get better.
Oh, I hear it's still bad. It's still bad.
I think for another
Omicron.
like year, like a year.
No. So they predicted initially. This is before Omicron. They predicted initially that it would take till 2022 to get things done. But with like late 2022, but with Omicron, it's probably going to be extended. Like there's probably going to be less production in China, and there's probably going to be higher inflation, because if there's less productivity in the most productive state, that just means there's less goods to go around. And I mean, thankfully, people aren't.
But
printing
don't you think
money.
they figured it out? Like, don't we
Hmm?
have much more knowledge? Like, the inefficiencies of not, like, they completely shut down production when the first, COVID wave happened. People didn't even like the factory line and the car
Yeah,
like factories. Like,
you're talking about the U.S. The U.S.
no, but
does
even
not care.
China.
China cares. I don't know if you've seen the news. They care.
But they won't shut
They're
down
still doing
factories.
some
They'll just make
crazy-ass
people not
things.
go out. No,
Huh?
but they don't shut down businesses. They care about the businesses. So it's like for normal people, they say you can't travel, but they'll still let the businesses operate.
No,
China's all about making
I'm
money.
telling you, read the articles. They are really bad. Whenever there's an outbreak in China, they shut things down. Like,
Dude, I've seen videos. They're coming in with SWAT team, hazmat. Like they're like
Bro,
ripping
all
people
right.
apart.
I'll tell you one story. All right, they had these 4 guys who violated the rule. They paraded them across the city wearing hazmat suits.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah. So that I felt like that was what you were talking about. But dude,
Yeah.
they are shutting things down heavily. Like people are saying they're starving, and China, the leaders do not care. Like, so the fact that you don't know this, like, I was like, yo, dude, it's really bad there.
That's funny.
They did not like. It's not. They don't care less. In the U.S., we cared a lot at the beginning, and we care less now. Over there, still the same. Like, just still the same, like, crazy response. So, which makes sense, right? Because the thing is, most of them are uninfected. They were never infected. And number 2, apparently their vaccine doesn't even work on the new Omicron. So at this point, they're still shutting down heavily, right? In the US, most of us are infected, if not vaccinated, and our vaccines actually work against Omicron. So,
Uh-oh, is it cutting out?
Nope, I'm good. Are you
Hello?
good? Yeah, I can hear.
I think my volume cut out.
I can hear. Yeah.
He can hear. I can hear.
Do one of you guys want to host? Okay, now I can hear you. But hey, do one of you guys want to host? I think my phone's just being laggy. Do you want to host Party Finance? And we'll jump on your live.
Sure. Why not?
Or Nerd Finance. You want to do it? Because Nerd Finance gets the crazy numbers. Do you want to go live on your live stream, Nerd Finance? Can you host?
No, dude. I actually shouldn't be on. I'm working right now.
No, come on, dude. It's New Year's Eve, dude. Let's continue for at least another 10, 20 minutes. This was a good discussion.
Fine. I'll do it.
Okay, so you'll host then? Or
Yeah,
let
I'll
Nerd...
host,
Who's going to host? Okay,
I'll
cool.
host.
Bye, guys. All right, bye.